Evelyn Dolman.
I'm Marie Webb.
I'm Carrie Pusey.
And welcome to our workshop today on flipping the classroom. We've titled it Flip Your Mind, Flip Your Soul, and Flip Your Classroom. Does anybody know this term, flipping the classroom? Okay, some people are familiar. You just Googled it to find out. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of information about what a flipped classroom is before we tell you how you can do all of these different methods of flipping. So we're going to talk about what the flipped classroom is. We're going to discuss why flipping is a good option. Then we're going to show you an example of a flipped classroom that Marie and I did last semester. We're going to introduce technology that can help you if you decide to do a flipped classroom. And then comes the fun part. Then we're going to actually have you create a flipped lesson. And we've got the iPads here today that are going to help you do that. And then finally, after you experience flipping as a teacher and creating your own lesson, we're going to turn the table and we're going to have you experience the flip as a student, so you can see what the student's perspective might be. And then finally, we didn't add it to the PowerPoint, but there is a quiz. And I'm not joking this time. There is a quiz using a new technology called clickers that we're going to let you play with at the end of the session. Okay, so what is flipped? This can be an inverse classroom. It's also known as an upside down classroom. There it is, okay? In that, it's not the traditional classroom. In fact, it's just the opposite. So anything that you normally do for homework, such as writing an essay or reading something and doing comprehension questions, this is now done in class. And any classwork, such as a lecture or a teacher describing instructions about how to do that, or the teacher describing an assignment or the rubric, this can all now be done at home. So all classwork is done at home. All homework is done at class. So why? Why is this good? Most of the research finds that there's now more time for students to engage with the materials, and you actually get to see them in the process. So for example, if you tell students, go home and write a paper about why smoking should be banned, you have no idea if the students wrote it by themselves, how long it took them, if they used a dictionary, if they went to Google and cut and paste from various sources. You have no idea how they got to the finished product. But if you do it in class, you actually see the process that the students take in the writing, and then you're able to individualize your instruction so that you can help those students through the assignments. There's also more time now for the teacher to answer questions. Since she's not going to be lecturing, she's not going to be wasting 10 or 15 minutes describing an assignment and how to do it, so it's going to leave more time for the students to answer individual questions from the students, the teacher to answer questions from the students. There are going to be a lot of videos and online materials in a flipped classroom, and by making these online, now the students have access to these materials 24/7. And then again, honing in on the individualization. There's more time for each of the students with their individual needs to ask the teacher about those things or to get help from each other through peer review or any kind of group work or pair work.
We'll talk about this one. So many of you may be wondering how to start a flipped classroom, how to even begin the process of flipping your classroom. There's a lot of considerations that you should consider. There's so much technology. A lot of our presentations in this conference have been focused on using technology, and it seems really cool, and you want to use it in your class, right? But like all technology, everything needs to have a specific purpose for a learning goal in your course. So we recommend, yes, use technology in your class, but don't use it for technology's sake, and very carefully look at what goals or what learning outcomes that technology is going to be applied in your classroom. Also, take one step when you start flipping. You don't have to flip your entire class. we didn't flip our entire classes. There are certain things that we thought were more conducive to flipping or not conducive to flipping. So you really need to take a look early and in advance. And this process was a learning process for all of us. And I would recommend very carefully looking at your curriculum before you decide that you're going to flip. It takes a lot of time and planning to flip, and you need to be prepared in advance for that. We're going to give you an example of what our typical classroom looks like every day when we flipped. So our students look very engaged in the classroom. It looks very exciting. Very rarely did we stand in front of the class lecturing at our students or giving long instructions. It still is important to take that time to do it in your class. We just did it less, and they were doing more collaborative activities in the classroom. All of these things look really great and exciting, but there are a lot of drawbacks to flipping that I'm going to talk about. Obviously, there's more preparation time for the teacher, and this is huge. One of the teachers that's not here today that worked in some of our research with us experienced this, and she said, "Whoa, it just is taking me a lot more time than I thought to prepare these video lessons outside of the class." And that is an obvious drawback for the teacher and for the students, that they have to learn and get used to a new style of learning outside of the classroom. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of motivation, and how do you assess this? How do you get the students to watch the videos before coming to class? So you often have to think of things like that. Students may initially feel that they have more work outside of the classroom, that you're giving them a lot of extra homework, and they might say to you, "Oh, well, my other classmate doesn't have to do this outside of the class. Why do I have to do this?" Things like that. Technical problems, of course, are common, like any technology that we use. And the time to train the new student or students to use this technology in the classroom. So these are all factors that you should think about before you decide to flip, and be careful about when you're initiating flipping your classroom. Some of the technologies that we used for flipping our classroom, they're very wide. We use screencasting, which I will show you a little bit about today. Specifically, Screencast-O-Matic is a free online program that you can use. Obviously, we used Google Docs. You saw the students working on a writing assignment, and they actually wrote a essay or a paragraph together on Google Documents in the computer lab. Another program that we use is VoiceThread, which I will be speaking about. Students can record their voices and respond to prompts that are made by the teacher or the students. This can also be integrated into Moodle or other LMS platforms. Padcams, guided internet searches, video cameras, cell phones, and a lot more technologies that you can use to flip in your classroom. So you're not limited to just one kind of technology when you're going to flip. We also flipped just by using basic PowerPoint presentations, having them take a follow-up quiz, or watch a video. So those are other options that don't require as much time when you're going to flip your classroom. I'm going to show you an example of how we were using VoiceThread in our course. And this is kind of a mini demo about speaking skills, where the students had to reply to a prompt about fact versus opinion. And I could see the students really enjoyed using this platform. Why? Because they would go back and re-upload their submissions and improve their pronunciation. A lot of times they were uploading 3 or 4 or 5 times. So I could see they really cared about what the students thought when they put their final product on the internet and everybody else could listen to it. Also, I'm using screencast-o-matic.com in this screencast. So I'm screencasting VoiceThread in this video.
Hi, 2014 Titan Schoolers. Thank you for attending today's workshop presentation on integrating 21st century skills in flipped ESL classrooms. Here's a short example of how we are using technology such as VoiceThread and Screencast-O-Matic to flip our classrooms. This is our VoiceThread homepage. When creating a VoiceThread, the screen appears as shown. In the middle of the VoiceThread page, you can see Evelyn's video posting. And surrounding her video box, you can see all of the students' replies to the posting. Now let's take a listen to one of our flipped assignments. Instead of discussing fact versus opinion in class, Evelyn provided a short example seen in the following video.
Hi guys, today we're going to talk about the difference between fact and opinion. So, what do you think a fact is? Well, a fact is anything that, 1, we can prove, 2, we can have some statistics.
Now that Evelyn described fact versus opinion and gave her own examples, the students were asked to do the same through the VoiceThread system. By clicking on one of the student icons, we can listen to their response. Let's listen to Anson's response.
Today, I'm going to talk about 2 facts and opinions. Firstly, people cannot live without working. This is a fact. Macau is a city smaller than Hong Kong. This is also a fact. It can't be changed when time is going by.
Oftentimes, students record and edit their responses multiple times to ensure that they are using their best pronunciation, grammar, and speaking skills to answer the prompt. Using online platforms such as VoiceThread is a great way to flip your class and keep your students engaged and communicating in English outside of the classroom.
All right, so you can see in this video, there's Evelyn and there's me. We're both in our apartments at home, and the students watch this at home, and they say, wow, I like it. You know, they're at home listening to your voice, and they kind of like that added instruction outside of the class. Carrie's going to take over.
Okay, so we're going to actually show you how to use one of these technologies we've been talking about, which in this case, we're using a program called ShowMe, which is an application for iPad, and also it's available for Android tablets as well. Marie showed Screencast-O-Matic, which is another screencasting software that I've used a lot, that we've all used. And there are a number of screencasting programs. But for the kind of sake of the classroom arrangement that we have today, we're going to use this program ShowMe because we have these iPads that we can kind of easily distribute. So I'm going to use this program called ShowMe and just show you. I'm going to show you ShowMe to sort of give you an example of actually the step-by-step process of creating a very, very basic screencast. So hopefully by watching this and seeing me do it, you'll kind of get the idea. And one of the big kind of things we really want to send home with you guys today is that this is not that difficult, actually. We've talked about it being kind of time-consuming, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with the process, and the more comfortable you are with it, the more easily you can create these flipped materials. Okay, so you're going to actually see me do it, and yes, this will kind of demystify this whole flipped thing, I think, for you. And then after that, we're going to give you the opportunity to try it out for yourself. So just give me a few seconds while I switch technologies.
While he's switching technology, maybe I'll just talk a little bit more about the experience of flipping. I was telling some of my colleagues that once I experienced this, I would never go back to not flipping. So I'm always going to flip my classroom. It just saves an incredible amount of time in the classroom. Some of the things that I started flipping in my class were instructions for big assignments and big projects that were coming up, where I would in detail explain that assignment instead of taking 15 or 20 minutes out of the class time to go and explain those assignments. And then your students come to class, the next class, and they have all these questions, and they didn't understand what you said. So putting it online gives them another way to access it anytime. They can review it, and I just go, okay guys, look on the internet, it's there, right? You don't need to ask me again and again and again, and keep taking up all of that class time just to explain basic instructions for things.
Can we have the light actually back on? All right, so actually what I'm gonna do, so I have this iPad and it's hooked up to the projector, right? So you should be able to see very clearly what I'm doing on the iPad. I'm going to sort of flip a little presentation about how to write or structure a good paragraph. Okay, a good paragraph. Pretty basic writing stuff. And the way I'm gonna do this, I've actually typed up some materials and I printed them off. And this is, again, this is for the sake of demonstration. So I've typed up a good paragraph, what I think is a pretty good paragraph. And below that, I've typed kind of a basic outline of the structure of a good paragraph. So the first thing I'm going to do for the purpose of this demonstration is I'm going to take a picture of each one of these things with the iPad. So you're going to watch me do that now. So here's the camera. And you should be able to see this.
Don't do that at all.
Okay, so there's the paragraph. I think you can probably see it. The problem of residential noise pollution in Macau. Okay, so there's a picture of that one, and then a picture of this structure. So, okay, so now. Actually, maybe we can pass these out and you guys can kind of follow along with me.
Absolutely, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, that would be better.
Step by step.
This program I'm going to use called Show Me, it's very, very easy to use. But if you're completely new to an iPad, it'll just take a minute for you to kind of follow along. So we have about 12 iPads, which we'll kind of pass out to each row, at least one per row. And you guys are going to share and work together, okay? So get close to your partners or the people in your row.
Are we short one over here? Okay. So maybe you have a partner or two, so you can work together.
Okay, thank you. Are you handouts? You know, I know. Oh, God.
I'm giving everyone a handout now that they're going to use later when they make their own. So just hang on to the handout as well too.
Those were the days.
All right.
Okay.
So don't worry about the handout just yet. If you just can share the iPad with the people in your row and just kind of follow along. And I'm just going to kind of go step by step through what I am going to do to sort of flip this presentation of how to write a good paragraph. So if you're here, look for the app called Show Me. It should look like this right here. It's a little TV, okay? Just gonna click on that.
Okay, go back.
Okay.
Everyone like Show Me?
So it's right here on the screen. It looks
Show
like
Me.
a YouTube application, kind of. Show Me.
SHOWME.
Did you find it?
Okay, so click on Show Me. Okay, and then you can click Start or Create New Show Me. Is everybody there? Yeah, Create New Show Me. Let me go through that again. So, Show Me. And Create New Show Me. Just press that. And then you'll find this screen right here.
In the right-hand side.
All right? Is everybody on the same page? Literally? Ha. Now the way
Light screen.
I'm gonna set this up very, very basically. There's a few very basic tools at the top right. There is an eraser. Next to that is a little like mountain thing with a plus symbol. I'm going to use that in just a second to bring in those pictures that I took of the good paragraph and the structure. Next to that, oh great, you have a laser. You'll find another thing with an arrow. That just means like undo. Okay, and then the like mark out thing, that's to clear all. So if you just want to erase the whole page, you can do that. All right, in the middle, you see a recording button. When you press that button, it will record your voice. So that's when you're actually doing the screencasting thing, where you're narrating what's going on
And
the
this
screen.
one is a little different than Screencast-O-Matic because it doesn't have the video recording of your face. You're more focused on what you're writing on the board, and maybe the students are listening more.
Right. Each screencasting software is a little bit different. So this is just one.
Carrie, do you suggest you take a picture of something to work from?
I think so, yes. For today, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of just the grammar presentation for simple past versus present perfect. Just to give you a little bit more orientation here, there are colors at the top. You can select those colors and then you can write with them. You can draw. So it's like handwriting. Okay, go ahead and you can try that out. You'll see that it's like writing with your fingers. Finally, at the top, there is a arrow going right, and there's an arrow going left with a number in the middle. The number is the slide which you're currently on. Okay, it should say 1. Okay, and you can actually press the arrow and get slide number 2, press it again, slide number 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press it like 5 times. Okay, I'm going to have 5 slides. And I'm going to put those pictures into 2 of them. And you can just follow along. So here's how I'm going to do this. You guys can see what I'm doing. So
Okay, so just watch right now. You can put your iPads down and play with them a little later. I know we're tempted like students are, right? To always play with our gadgets.
So this is just really basic. You would probably want to take a little bit more time than this, but we're in a kind of special circumstance right now. So I'm going to just say how to write a good paragraph. Exclamation point.
It's okay, Carrie.
How do you write a good paragraph?
Not
Paragraph.
paragraph.
There you go.
Smiley face.
I can't read, it's so messy.
All right, here's my first slide. I haven't started recording yet. I'm just getting set up. So now I'm going to press this up at the top, and I have a new slide. And I'm going to say, what does a good paragraph look like?
It looks pretty.
What does it look like? How do you know one when you see one? Okay, I'm just kind of freestyling this. Next, I'm going to bring in that picture that I took of the good paragraph by clicking that picture up at the top left, okay, the little mountain with the plus sign. So I'm going to press that, and then it says choose photo. Now I choose the photo that I just took, and I'm going to rotate it. There we go. That looks okay. All right. Normally I would take a little bit more time to make sure I took a very clear picture, but for the purpose of this demonstration, it's okay. So this is going to be the sort of model paragraph I'm going to show students. I'm going to make another slide, okay, here, and I'm going to bring in that picture of the structure that I said I would talk about, which is this one here. Also, I would definitely make sure I didn't have a thumb in my picture, okay? Hey, I do have a laser. Okay. So I'm done there. And then I'm going to make my last slide some kind of application of what I just taught the students during the video. So I'm going to say homework. Okay. And then I could say, I'm going to explain actually when I record the video, okay? So now I've kind of set up these slides. I've just got some basic organization to these slides. So I'm going to go back to the first one. And now you guys are going to hear me record this, okay? So bear with me. Okay. So I'm gonna press the record button, and you're gonna see how this works. Okay, so please be quiet. Okay, hello class. In this video, I'm going to discuss the basics of writing a good paragraph. As you all know, our first written assignment this semester is to write a well-organized paragraph about a local problem in Macau. In class, we brainstormed ideas about different problems you could write about. So this video will help you get started on the first draft of your paragraph. So, one of the first things we should know when we want to write a good paragraph is, what does a good paragraph look like? So, let's take a look. Okay. Here is a paragraph written about noise pollution in Macau. This is one of the problems we discussed the other day in class. Remember, noise pollution basically means unwanted sounds that disrupt our daily lives and cause annoyance or disturbance. First, I will read the paragraph, then I'll talk about the structure of the paragraph. So, my title is The Problem of Residential Noise Pollution in Macau. Noise pollution is a problem that affects many people all over the world. This problem is quite acute in Macau, where development is constantly taking place in close proximity to apartment buildings. One cause of noise pollution in Macau comes from traffic. The noise that comes from busy streets occupied by noisy vehicles, such as motor scooters and buses, is probably familiar to most residents of Macau. Another cause of noise pollution is construction. In many areas of Macau, new apartment buildings and businesses are being constructed all the time, which can be a source of constant bombardment from construction tools such as drills and jackhammers. Finally, noise in residential areas may also come from the residents themselves. Loud music, crying children, barking dogs, and home repairs are all potential sources of noise pollution, which many people must deal with on a daily basis. In summary, although these are just a few examples of noise pollution in Macau, it is clear that this problem is a real issue in the area. Okay, so this is an example of a good paragraph. And why is it a good paragraph? Well, because of the structure of the paragraph. In this paragraph, all of these elements, a topic sentence, controlling idea, main idea, supporting detail, another main idea with a supporting detail, and another one, and a concluding sentence are all present in this paragraph. All of these things help make the paragraph easy to follow and easy for the reader to understand what the writer wants to express. So let's go back to that paragraph and see if we can find each of these things. So here we have a sentence. Noise pollution is a problem that affects many people all over the world. Okay, this we can say is our topic sentence. And then we have a sentence that follows it. This problem is quite acute in Macau, where development is constantly taking place in close proximity to apartment buildings. Anyways, I'm going to press pause. I would go on to explain each part of this paragraph, okay? And then finally, and you can press pause and kind of see where you're going and stuff like that. I'm going to finish and just show you, basically, that's how it's done. So you can just sort of write a script, or you can kind of just freestyle it. The more comfortable you become with doing it, and the easier it will become. So this should... Okay, hello class. Okay. In this video, I'm going to discuss the basics of... Can you hear that?
Yes.
As you all know, our first written assignment this semester is to write a well-organized paragraph about a local problem in Macau. Okay, so I'm going to stop now because we need to move on to the next thing. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of how you would do this, right? So now we want to give you the opportunity to try it out. So let me change back to the computer again, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're actually going to show you the experience of flipping from the student's perspective. So keep your iPads on, and I'm going to go ahead and, we're moving on, right? And show you a little bit about a quick activity that I did with my students in class, and then you guys are going to be the students, and you're going to go ahead and try to do it on your own.
Okay, while you're waiting, if you haven't taken a picture, you can go ahead now and try to take a clear picture. And then in a couple of minutes, we're going to give you the opportunity to make your own Show Me video like Terry did. So go ahead and take a picture. And then you can go ahead, if you want to make multiple slides, you can go ahead and start making your own multiple slides. If you're working with a partner, think about your script. What would you like to say when you're instructing your students about this grammar point? Did you guys get a copy of the?
We did.
You can do it.
Yes.
You don't have to use the same one.
Evelyn, how do
Yes.
you get rid of the little eraser?
Record this all.
It's on writing. Stuff on eraser.
What would you say?
Oh, there you go. You just
Oh,
press
just
on
a
two.
different color.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so practice just for a minute. We're going to go ahead and let you practice making your own. So after you write at least one screen, like write something, hello, we're going to talk about the present perfect versus the simple past. Anything, try to write it on Show Me. And then with your partners, try recording your voice and see if you can make a 30-second mini lesson. So for example, you might take a picture and say, hello class, today I'm going to talk about the difference between the present perfect and the simple past. So do you know what the difference is? And then you could explain the difference. Maybe you want to draw a timeline and show students the difference between the simple past and the present perfect. Okay, so we're going to give you about 5 minutes right now with your partner. Try to make a lesson and integrate this photo into your lesson. Okay, good.
So we don't want this.
So you've got 2 slides?
Yeah, but we're going to try to we're going to do it over because we're going to do this fast.
Okay. Well, you can do a paragraph. You don't have to use this one. Yeah?
Sure.
And if you took a picture of this, this would be your example of the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, on this one.
You need to be right.
Good morning, students. Today,
We've got quite a lot left.
right, I'm good.
So Marie's going to show the envelopes.
Building block. Good message.
Yeah, this is the most important thing. We just didn't know your modeling was going to take so long. Like,
Well, I thought it was
you probably
15
should have read the paragraph. Yeah, I think we said the whole thing was 4 minutes for you to model after. But it's okay, we're back on stage right now.
Yeah, it's them learning.
Exactly. And they're doing it though, so we're okay. We're okay. Don't stress. We're good. We're good. Yeah, they're learning.
How's it going?
Okay, so now just hit record and you're the teacher. You make a lesson. Okay. Another slide?
If you want to share it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
how to log in. Because they're not logged in on the iPads.
Yes, very
Download these or all
You gotta unplug it and plug that one in. Yeah, we're back on track.
We're kind of. I still should have 15 minutes,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut.
Is it only one slide?
Yeah, they recorded his voice. Yeah?
Okay, everyone, let's look at an example that John has provided us. It's very short and sweet and to the point. And let's evaluate his show me widescreen and see if this would be good for the students. Okay, I think we can hit play, hopefully, and hear John's voice.
Hold on.
Oh, we got to take his one in.
Play.
Want to go back from the beginning?
Wait a minute. This one? This is the volume, I think. I don't know if it recorded.
I'm not sure if I recorded.
It was recorded, all right. It was recorded. Maybe we can't share it. Okay, but you did explain using 2 sentences,
Yeah.
correct? Okay, did anybody else record their voice?
Yes.
Yeah, let's have a
Can we
sample.
use yours? Yeah?
Mine's not very instructional. I was just.
All right, yeah, exactly, as long as you get the hang of it. But John, you get an A for effort, okay? It's all about experimenting, and so you learn kind of like what not to do for next time.
You can help.
Okay, let's see if Barbara and Teresa were more successful.
Is it recording? Yeah. Good morning, students. Today we're going to learn about how to write a good paragraph. Now, as you all know, a good paragraph is the building block for a good essay.
So, honestly, I just want to say the whole idea is just like, try it out, okay? Don't be afraid. You might feel a little bit silly at first, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Like, you can like take a picture of your hand and be like, this is the pinky and this is the thumb, and literally just try it out to like record yourself. Yes,
So I
Teresa.
just have a quick question. Once you press save, though, it saves the whole thing, so you can't go back to it, right?
That's right.
We had talked about pausing, so if you want to pause and think about
You can just press pause for the
but don't
audio.
press save till you're done.
Right.
Got it.
We can talk more about this particular app after the presentation, so we can finish up here.
So definitely experiment and have fun. But part of this workshop today is experiencing the flip from the student's point of view. So what do you guys think the students might feel about this activity? We want you guys to experience it. So I'm going to show you a screencast-o-matic about how I used Bubbleless to teach my students how to mind map their 5-paragraph essay. And what I did was I assigned this video for homework, and students watched my video instructions at home, and they actually completed the assignment at home, and we followed up about this assignment in the next class. So the motivation for them to do this assignment at home was that the next class was based off of what they already did. And I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick video, maybe about a minute, about how I use Bubble S. Pay attention because you're going to do it.
give you a short introduction on how you use Bubble, okay? So you're going to go to Bubble, BUBBL.US, just like
And
this.
you can go to it right now if you want.
You can log in with your Google account or your Facebook account.
Or you can create an
Once you log
account.
in, you're going to see this page, okay? Maybe you want to click, this is one of my old mind maps. So maybe I want to click new mind map here. Okay, so once you're here, you're going to start putting in your ideas for your essay. So maybe for the first bubble, I am going to write the title of my paper. The title of my paper is Stopping the Runaway Train of College Textbook Crisis. Okay. There's my title. You can move it anywhere you want. So that
I'm going to
you
fast forward it just a little bit, and you can see how I continue building my map. One thing that I make sure that the students understand is to start outlining what sources they're going to use for each solution paragraph in their essay.
Courage, open.
And so basically, this is a 10-minute video of an essay that I outlined for them in class, so they can see how I outlined an entire essay, word for word, and the thought process that I went through when I was outlining this essay. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to take 10 minutes with your group, and please follow the instructions. Go ahead and log into bubbles.com and start creating your own mind map with your partner.
Or is it already an icon, or do they need it?
No, you need to go to Safari.
To Safari Internet.
Safari or Google Chrome.
I go bubbleus.com. B-U-B-B-L.
L, no E.
Yeah. So Bubble Us.
I just use my own email.
Okay, yeah, we can register your own or link it to your Facebook. Up here. Okay, so make that account.
Okay,
We have to log in now, yeah.
log in with your Facebook, or you can link your Google account. So you have an option.
Make a new account once you get there.
How to create an account, exactly.
Are you guys able to log in on your computer? I'm not able to log in.
You try to figure it out. You just have to create a We're having trouble creating a new account.
Is anybody trying to go through? Where's like a sign up for that?
Does anybody have an Android with them, with their phone? No, all, no.
Because it comes up as
Did you guys find Bubble Us? Okay, so make your account. And then go to create new mind map. Yeah. Daisy has one on her phone, she showed it yesterday about mind map.
Oh, you mean like Facebook?
Students must create an account, right? It's free though, yeah. We use a lot of resources on the internet, and they use it like emails, or they need to log in with Facebook or log in with Twitter. So they're kind of used to always using some kind of login. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll allow you to log in actually on these. Because it just says sign in, it doesn't say like create. Can you do it in Chrome? Does it work?
No, it doesn't show the
Okay.
sign up.
No, it's not letting anybody log in.
Oh, right, public, yeah, right, yeah, I heard it out on the too.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
the point would be, it looks like it's not going to work on the iPads, this particular program, Obolus, which is unfortunate, but
You could use a Padlet.
sure. You could use all kinds of different things, and the whole point is for you to imagine you are a student, you see this video, you see Marie explain exactly what to do and how to create this basically mind map of your essay, and they watch you model it, right? And then they do it themselves, and this is outside of class, and this prepares them for some kind of in-class activity that they will then do, the next time you guys have class. So all of this instruction and all of this sort of like modeling and guided teaching is happening outside of class, which is freeing up a lot of time for other types of activities that they can do in the class. So it's unfortunate, and we apologize that particular program didn't work on the iPad. We were unaware of that.
Yeah, but remember, that's one of the things that we talked about at the beginning, is that be aware of technology difficulties, right? What can happen will happen, so always have a backup plan. So if we were really working with this with students, we would probably tell them to go to Padlet or Mind42, which Daisy used in her workshop yesterday. So always have some other resource that you can share, or just go to a paper version. If you're doing a mind map, just give them a paper version of a mind map to work
Yeah,
with.
really, you can draw this out on a paper and make a mind map.
This system does work on their computer, so at home. So we're handing out a clicker to each one of you, and we're going to play a short review game. So I think Evelyn will explain just in a minute how to turn on the clicker, so just don't touch it yet. Because if you turn it on wrong, it might switch over to something else. Yeah. Don't turn it on yet. You can touch it.
Great. Once they do that, mind map, and what do they do with that?
I have them upload, they saved it, and they uploaded it on Moodle, and then I gave them comments. Yeah, I gave them comments on the mind map, and then they started writing a link.
No, leave them in the paper.
Leave them in the plastic.
Yeah.
Don't unwrap your
So they downloaded JPEG of it. It's a big photo, it's easy to read. No, it just saves it. One JPEG photo. They can print it out too. So
Okay, so it's very easy. Just hit the CE button and turn your clicker on, and a number will pop up. And the number should be the same number as on the back. So I have A23, and my number is showing 023. We just changed the battery, so everyone should work. Do you have one that does not turn on?
CE?
Does not turn on.
Mine does not.
It's on? Perfect? Yeah. You got it? Okay. Everyone's is on? Okay. This is a multiple choice game. I think some of you did the Socrative workshop with Rex. I think somebody else has talked about Socrative. Daisy also talked about it during her workshop. So this is an alternative to Socrative. You have to obviously have the gadgets, right? But at least students don't have to log on, and you don't spend time creating accounts. Okay, so it's multiple choice. I've used this a lot for review games, maybe as warm-up games to tap into students' prior knowledge as well too. Anything that you can think of to use for multiple choice, then you can use clickers with that. Okay, to answer, for example, if I want to put in the answer A, you hit A and then OK. A-OK. That locks in your answer. B, B-OK. So anytime you want to put in an answer from A to F, make sure you hit the OK. What if you change your mind? That's okay too, as long as the time limit hasn't expired. So if you put in A, OK, and then you think, oh no, that's the wrong answer. I want to change to B. Just quickly put B, OK. And now it's reset your answer. So does everyone understand how to play the game?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, so let's see if we can play the game.
I'm good. I don't know how to use it.
Mouse.
Carrie, you got it.
I need my mouse.
No mouse.
Carrie, take your PPs.
Okay.
That's the
And what button do I need to press?
the full screen. Delete record.
Delete.
Okay. All right, so this is question number 1. You can't answer yet because I haven't hit start. Okay, I'm going to hit start and you're going to see all of your numbers light up at the top. When you answer, you'll see your number turn a different color. Okay, so...
Plugged it earlier. Then we plugged it back in. Yeah, so it's not registering. What's wrong, Eric? What's wrong? I think because we unplugged it earlier. Then we plugged it back in. Did it recognize? Does it recognize it again? Sometimes I had to restart my computer to get it to work.
Restart the PowerPoint.
Okay, are we ready?
No, we didn't exit out.
Get out of the PowerPoint?
Yeah, we gotta restart it. I gotta restart the whole computer though.
Go! Okay! You got 30 seconds! Go, go, go! 30 seconds!
We're fast.
Okay, so it turns blue when you get your answer.
How does it tell you if it's right? I can't see my number.
Not yet.
Okay?
Wait.
Number 6, who's number 6? Answer, answer. Number 6, number 21, 23, 24, 25. You haven't answered yet. Go, go, go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Da 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 da. And look. So the answer is B. Most of you got it incorrect. 1 person. 1 person chose boring.
Barbara.
I swear I was the I was tempted, but
So I can see big this 1 person who chose the wrong answer, obviously. And there's even a way to find out who chose the wrong answer.